There's all these outside voices that oftentimes tell us who we ought to be or who we need to be or who we're supposed to be in order to be quote unquote successful. And as a result of that, sometimes we can end up, judging ourselves for who we're not rather than loving ourselves for who we are. And I have a mentor who likes to say that when the voices on the inside are clearer and louder than the voices on the outside, then we become a master of our life. And so for me, balance is being perfectly balanced across my values and knowing what my values are. I think that fits well inside of Jeff Bezos's model of something that is circular, that like when I'm taking that time off from work in the evenings, that's where I recharge, refill my cup. So the next day I can pour back into my business. And by having a place for me to exercise my inspiration in life, that I draw from that inspiration to be more effective in my home life as well. And therefore there's a circle versus a scale.
And what is one piece of advice you would give to an aspiring entrepreneur?
Wow. Likely the most beneficial thing that I've uncovered over my years as an entrepreneur. I often go back to this James Michener quote. The master in the art of living makes little distinction between his work and his play, his labor and his leisure, his mind and his body. He hardly knows which is which. And in other words, that's a purpose-driven life. And when we live by our highest values, from a teleological perspective, when we live by our highest values, we're living by purpose. And I would suggest to an entrepreneur that you know what your values are, because we live in such a loud, noisy world that's constantly inundating us with messages about who we're supposed to be or need to be or have to be. But to be ruthlessly committed to the execution of our values, kind